The Gulf Coast is marking 20 years now since Hurricane Katrina devastated that region. Katrina, a Category 3 hurricane when it made landfall in southeast Louisiana in 2005. It remains one of the deadliest storms in recent history, killing more than 1,300 people in 5 states.
The powerful storm devastated entire communities, including New Orleans, which was quickly overtaken by floodwaters. Damage is estimated at upward of $200 billion when adjusted for inflation. 20 years later, 60% of the residents in the city's hardest hit lower 9th Ward have not returned.
More than 500 Michigan National Guard members were deployed to the Gulf Coast in the aftermath of Katrina.
Reservists from other branches were also mobilized to provide help in the destroyed communities, and survivors were relocated far from home.
News 8's Josh Sanchez spoke with veterans who answered that call to help.
While the memories of taking care of survivors and patrolling devastated neighborhoods are 2 decades old, for some vets, the sights and sounds are as clear as the day they happened.
You pretty much just drop everything and go, you know.
Mike Korfman was the chief of Texas Township Fire Department when Hurricane Katrina struck the Gulf Coast in 2005.
We were in Gulfport here, and then this is Biloxi.
He lived another life as a chief petty officer in the Coast Guard Reserve attached to Port Security Unit 309. In the days after the storm surge, he switched uniforms, as his unit was called, to drive from Ohio to Gulfport, Mississippi. He says the convoy of buses and trucks towing boats drove through the night, hitting rain showers along the way, remnants of Hurricane Katrina. The destruction he found was indescribable.
Wood frame buildings were pretty much flat and just cleaned off their foundations, and there was trash everywhere, and of course the sewage comes up out of the sewer system, and it stinks.
The odor would mix with the smell of seawater and rotting fruit from shipping containers scattered around the city. For 3 weeks, the unit was tasked with protecting the shipping port and providing security and humanitarian aid. Korfman remembers checking in on a group of immigrant fishermen and their families practically left stranded in a bay.
We're bringing them food and medical attention, anything they needed back there, because they were trapped back, couldn't even get their fishing boats out. It was so bad back there.
The former Kalamazoo County emergency manager says the experience taught him how valuable building connections with the community and other agencies ahead of time can be.
It's so much easier to work with somebody that you already know than it is to just walk in cold turkey. And that was the challenge down there.
As service members and volunteers made their way to the Gulf Shore, many survivors were relocated around the country. Robert DeCoster was a major in the Michigan Air National Guard when several hundred people were flown to the Battle Creek Air Base. It was a massive and fast-moving operation.
From what we understood, they were plucking people off of roads, taking to evacuation site, and then bringing them here.
This is where families can come to.
Governor Jennifer Granholm visited Fort Custer training area ahead of time and said the state would take up to 10,000 people affected by the hurricane. State officials worked with mayors around the state to find more permanent homes. Once on the ground, people were checked for any medical needs and provided donated clothing and supplies. DeCoster remembers how much it meant to those who had just lost everything.
One guy saw that we had clothes and stuff for him, and he kicked his shoes off. He says, I couldn't wait to get these off because they were too small. He just grabbed whatever he could find. So he was grateful to get a pair of shoes that fit.
Looking back, both men tell me the ability for communities to rally together at their unit level and beyond are one of the things that stick out all these years later. In Kalamazoo, Josh Sanchez, News 8.